What's up, guys? We're back in Run8 and I'm going to be showing you how to create and place trains in Sim. I just take it for granted that people know how to do this, and I know the last live stream I did, I had a few people asking like how you did it in the chat. So, and I said I was going to do a video, and honestly I kind of like I forgot about it. But this is it. It's very, very simple, right? All right, we're on High Rail Simulations, Fitzgerald Suburb, Manchester Yard. Here's completely blank slate. There's nothing on the route. See, the yard's empty. We want to drop a local in here. A720 was a local that worked out of here back in the day when I worked. So we're going to hit left control F1. It's going to bring up the train maker upper. As you can see, this is the holy grail for Run8 as far as everything that you want to build or do. And it breaks everything down in the middle here by car type. You can do Amtrak, you can do freight locomotives, all freight cars. Other is going to be your caboose and your high rail, stuff like that, like your one-offs, and then it breaks it down by car type, auto racks, box cars, center beams. Center beams going to include your bulkheads too, your bulkhead flats, covered hoppers, gondolas. You get the picture, like it's all in there. Right now, we just want to do A720's power. We want to put them over on the shop track, so we'll go to freight locomotives. Back in the day, it was always two 4-axle engines. Is 99.9% of the time it was 2-7s. So we don't have anything like that. The closest thing we got is these GP42. So that's where we're going to spawn. We're going to do GP42 CSX02. We'll double click him, and we'll double click the Conrail 01, because when I hired out, the Conrail merger was just a few years in, like a couple years, maybe 3 years, 3-4 at the most. So there's a lot of Conrail power still sitting around. All right, there we go. This is our new train. We've got the CSX GP42. We got the Conrail GP42. We want this guy running the opposite direction, right? So we're going to right-click him. It'll reverse him. It's as simple as that. You could left-click and drag and move around a position if you wanted to. But we're going to leave them like that. Now that we've got the train ready to go, we're going to hit place train, and we're going to go up here to the shop track. You need to be facing where you want to drop these guys, because he's going to be facing the opposite direction that you're looking. So we want to put them on the shop track right here. Bam, there you go. There's our two GP42s for our shop power. They are tied down and ready to go. We'll click him. We'll label them. We're not going to get into tags and all that stuff. That's a whole other thing. We'll just put A720. All right, so there you go. Let's relinquish him. We don't need him right now. There you go. That's the most basic, like, how you drop stuff in game. It's very easy. It's not very hard at all. All right, let's go up to Duran, which is north of Campground, to the Georgia Pacific plant. That's the place that this local worked. And we'll put some cars up there. So we need to hover over the North Campground switch, and you hit space. That teleports you up there. We'll just fly to Duran. I don't know what this is right now. Back in the day, this was a pulpwood yard. We used to get some pulpwood out of here. I don't know what it is now. It's like some kind of aggregate thing or something. We'll fly to Georgia Pacific. This is our little runaround here that we used. We used to roll cars by here a lot. Like we would clear the power up in the storage track and let the cars roll by. Worked out pretty good there. I don't think you can do that in game though. The grade's not right, but either way, this is our Georgia Pacific plant. It is completely empty. There's nothing here. Basically what they would do is they would take loaded log cars, they would chip them up, they make press board, particle board, whatever you want to call it. They would ship those out in box cars, and then they would ship out some wood chips as well too. I think they'd take about 16 cars of logs a day. And we might pull like 2 or 3 box cars a day. It was a joint operation with NS, so the NS track over... yeah, I don't know what... Okay, that's the road. Okay, that's the road. This is the NS track right here. So we both served this industry, so they would get some of the box cars. We would get some of the box cars. We furnished all the logs, and they took care of the chips. Later on, towards the end, before I left, their line had washed out and they abandoned it, and so we took the whole operation, but it was kind of neat. All right, so we want to spawn in some boxes, right? Let's hit Control F1. Let's clear this out. Let's go to box cars. Scroll up to the top. We want to do some high cubes, so we'll do a couple of CSX an NS, and a few TTX. We'll do 5 cars. Yeah, it's 5. Let's hit random reorder. So it's basically going to shuffle them all around. Like it's like shuffling a deck of cards, right? And then it's going to randomly reverse some of the cars. So you hit it again. So you got a little different configuration. No, hit it again. There you go. So it randomizes the cars a little bit, right? Let's hit place train, and we want to spot this guy up. Maybe right there. There we go. So like I say, we're not going to worry about tagging. That's a whole different thing. We're just placing stuff on the route. We're going to change this up a little bit, okay? We're going to, because like usually in real life, it was never just a cut and dry pull. Usually, a lot of times there's a little something to it. So we'll say this guy is loaded. And these two are loaded. And these are empty. So basically what you would have to do, you'd have to come up in here in a local. You'd have to take these cars and you'd have to sort them out, right? Like you'd set your empties over. You set your loads over on another track. You would grab what you're going to take. We'll say we would take this one here maybe. And this one here. And NS gets their car. And then the 2 CSXs are empty. They stay because they haven't been loaded yet. Like, you know, I see a lot of guys in game. It seems like it's just a pull and replace. Just a straight pull and replace. Pull 5 loads. Spot 5 empties. You did that from time to time, right? But it could get pretty complex too, as far as how we did cars. But so we got our boxes spawned in. Let's do our chip hoppers. Let's clear this out. Let's do, I think it's going to be under open hoppers. There we go. We got CSXT and GPSX. GPSX is going to be Georgia Pacific cars. Let's do it by 3. Let's random reorder them. Place train. Now we're going to go down here to the chip loader. We're going to make this one a little bit complex as well too, right? We're going to say this guy hasn't loaded up, right? Like they're in the process. Oops. They're in the process of loading this guy. He hasn't been loaded yet, but there's 2 loads on the bottom. There you go. Bam. There you go. Another one. Usually when we dealt with chip hoppers, from what I can remember, the companies would handle them in like cuts of 2 or 3 because they would pull them themselves through the loader. Usually they'd have some kind of janky way to do it. I want to say at Georgia Pacific, they use a cable system to pull them, but they couldn't handle big cuts of cars. They could only do a few at a time. All right, let's clear these out and let's say, let's just do 3 CSXs, random reorder them. And can we spawn them in down here? No, it's not. Yeah, it's saying track's not clear. It's kind of finicky as far as that, right? Like we can't. Yeah, we can't do it. I was wanting to do it in cuts of 3, and sometimes you go into these places and there may be multiple cuts of 3. They're not solid, right? They're not together. So you'd have to go in and gather your loads and couple them all together, make them solid, and then set them over and put your empties back. Like another instance, they might have... Yeah, this track is really finicky. Like we can't even put any empties ahead. So there might be some empties sitting ahead. Some they're in the process of loading, and then some loads down the bottom, but it's not going to work out for us on this track, unfortunately. So the next thing we need to do, we'll just delete these. Let's go back. Let's do 3 more CSX. Random reorder. Yeah, we're having to kind of, you know, take a little creative license here with it, but hit Control F1, place train. Let's put there. All right, so we've got 6 in. Like I said, I've done it before at Chip Mill where you can kind of break them up a little bit, but you can't do that here, unfortunately. But you could go in and physically manipulate them with a track mobile or an engine or something if you wanted to. But there you go. So we've got 2 empties on the head end that they haven't loaded yet, and then 4 loads on the bottom, right? As simple as that. It's not very hard. Those are spawned in. Let's do our log cars real quick. Let's clear these guys out. And let's see, we need to go. Those are going to be under center beams. They're going to be bulkhead. I think it's this one right here. We would do 16 of these. These were a straight pull and replace every day. I don't ever remember pulling like half of them and the other half was still being unloaded. Like they always had these unloaded every day. So Spawn 16. It's all we got, right? And these are actually telephone pole cars. It's the closest thing we have though, so we just have to kind of make do with it, and we'll put them in right there. I want to say they unloaded them down here, like there was a spot. I'd have to go back to Google Earth and look, but I want to say they were kind of owned down here a little ways where they could get access to them, and then they had the wood, the log pile over there. But here's our car. These are our 16 empties ready to go. So if we were to come up here on that 720 that we spawned at Manchester, we would bring probably 3 or 4 empty wood chip hoppers, maybe some boxes, and then 16 log cars. We would be pulling, I think, two boxes, all the log flats, and 4 of the chip hoppers. So that's basically it. It's very easy to create and spawn trains in Run8. Like it's not very hard. The biggest thing you're going to run into is just like if you're trying to spawn multiple cuts on the same track like we were here, it can get a little bit finicky with that, but otherwise it's pretty cut and dry. All right, let's go back to Manchester Yard. Over that switch. Hit the space bar. There's our 720 power right there. We could, even if we wanted to get really involved with it, we'll relinquish my train that I'm holding right now. Those cars down at Duran. Take this guy. Get him started up and ready to go. And then we could relinquish it. And then you got 2 engines sitting there running, right? Like you used to sit there and run all the times before they got really like stupid picky about fuel and stuff like that. We want to spawn in our outbound cars here, so we could go in and generally the way it was done, I remember taking 592 and spotting up boxes here from time to time, so we could do that. Place train. We'll put them right there. We'll say 592 made his set out. And let's say we'll do our cars from 544. Clear that out. Go to open hoppers. 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll say, yeah, we'll spawn in 5 of these. Random reorder. Place train. There you go. We got 5 empty cars. Actually, let's delete these guys. Let's add some more into it. So I got a random reorder. This is the downside to the random reorder is that let's say we want to do a cut of chip hoppers on top of a bunch of log cars, right? So we'll go back to our center beams. See, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Can't random reorder it now because then it's going to mix our chip hoppers in with our log cars. So we could random reverse if we wanted to, but we can't random reorder because it's going to have them all jumbled up. All right, so we'll hit place train and we'll drop these guys right there. And we'll go in, we'll load these all up. Load. And you guys, you know, for the average person may not be nearly as picky about this. I'm only picky about it because I work the job, so I know how it was in real life, right? A lot of people aren't going to know this. You know, it's just going to be whatever, but we'll spawn them in. In real life, they had, they used log spine cars. They were Georgia Pacific spine cars. They were blue. Pretty cool. I want to say instead of one long log, they had bunkers with like two sets of short logs. I think that's how they did it. There you go. All right, nice. That's our outbound cut for our 720. So we got 3 empty boxes to spot up, 5 wood chip hoppers, and 16 log cars, and that's basically it. It's as simple as that, guys. And setting up, like, you know, usually when I do a video, I script this stuff out so I know exactly who I'm going to meet and roughly when they're going to be on route and that sort of thing. It's kind of like a lineup, right? Like you have two ways that you could originate trains on the route. In game, you could either physically spawn them in like we have and make them AI, or you could have them done like a random AI spawner. If you hit Shift F2, it'll take you to your AI status page. We have no AI on the route right now, and it goes to your AI traffic generation. If we look at South Campground, let's say we want some random AI trains to spawn there, and then I could do a whole video on this, like the random AI generation. It's pretty involved, but the main reason that I don't use it is that it's a probability slider, right? There's no scheduling it, as far as like if I want a train to leave campground at 1400, there's no way to schedule that. It's just a random thing, so they just show up whenever they show up, and so that's why I don't use that a whole lot. Every once in a while I do, but like 99% of the time when I'm doing a video and it's scripted out as far as what I want to do and meet, I just place everything myself and then manipulate it that way. So like I said, if you guys want to see a video on this, maybe we could do one sometime, but or if you guys want to see a video on how I actually like set up all the trains for a video, that sort of thing, we can do that as well too. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this one. I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope it helps you out. If there's anything else that you want to see as far as Run8 or Railroad or something like that, leave me a comment below and let me know. Like I said, I take it for granted that people already know this stuff, you know, and I know a lot of people don't, especially people that are new to the game. Anyway, love all of you, and we'll catch you on the rails next time. Peace. No, big cat, no. Oh no, kitty. Oh, that's a MiG. That's a MiG over his head. Okay, it's the weirdest day ever. Oh no, he just fell. He just fell.